I'm Rob Abramowitz, and Merrillhurst has a lot of people from different cultures and religions, Shinto, Jewish, Catholic, and this being a Catholic university, how does the university support the spiritual growth and traditions of this various wide-spanning community within, but still being a Catholic university?
Let me link that up with what I just said with the comment. Merrillhurst has decided that Sheila and I can reinvigorate the university ministry program here at Merrillhurst for that very reason. That we need to have an identity, and from that identity reach out to other people so that we teach world religions. I think everybody ought to take world religions. And we have what we call Making Ethical Decisions, which is a class I taught, and I love to teach it, because you can give them different philosophical and ethical systems which are bases for their own decision making. And then secondly, when it comes to rituals, we have a number of people who have no roots in a tradition. Last year we had one of our teachers die at night, age 52. And her family lived in Minnesota, and she really had no ties here except for the students. And so Sheila and I did a memorial service, and we did it up in Wiegand Hall. The whole hall was filled. And a number of her students participated. One did the bagpipes, and they did readings and so forth too. So I think that we need to be responsive to our students where they are. And then secondly, we now have an office, which is a great blessing, because we're now having people return from Iraq. A lot of stress. People are getting divorces. People are having all kinds of issues. And I think that we need somebody available that can step in the shoes and be empathic with other people and see the world from their standpoint and respond in love to that. I kept the door open. Sheila wasn't there. But you know, I'm having people stop by now and say, "Do you pray? Will you pray for me?" I said, "Sure, that's my job. You know, sure, I'll pray for you." And so, and then another person came back and she said, "You must have been doing it because it worked. You know, must have been doing it because it worked." But I think that it's through prayer and through rituals and through classes and through everything that we can to serve our students. The world is no longer, you know, tied with one religion and one nation. Does that say it for you? Thank you. Joan?
Hi, I'm Joan Myers, and my question kind of picks up on some of the preceding questions, and that's a curiosity about people who have followed a faith tradition at some point in their life, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, and I'm probably most familiar with the Christian tradition, and so they refer to themselves as fallen away or no longer practicing. And I'm no reader of souls, but they seem spiritual to me, and it's like there's substance there, but they're negating it or they're dismissing it. And I'm wondering what the richness that you described on this journey, this river journey today, contributes, or what these individuals contribute to the journey, the fallen away.
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer it or not, but I don't think there is such a thing as a fallen away Jew or a fallen away Catholic or a fallen away Presbyterian. Well, I think they get it in their bones, you know. And so, you know, I remember when I did spiritual direction with a lot of different people. I don't do as much spiritual direction now, but this person walked in and was talking to me, and I said to myself, this person has Lutheranism in their background someplace. And lo and behold, after we got to know each other a while, I found out there was Lutheranism in the background. And that's an advantage of knowing the different religions too. But I think that everybody goes through, you know that from grade school and high school, everybody goes through a period of questioning, and I think that's really healthy. That's why I honor the people of the 60s who questioned everything. you know. I think it's good to question, and research has shown that many people will return to the religion of their grandparents. You know, at least I've read articles on that. And not too long ago, there was a wonderful program on Judaism on OPB, and this old rabbi, I mean, he must have been 90 or something close to it. He says, I go to synagogue because I am a Jew. My grandson goes to synagogue because he wants to find out what being a Jew means. So he's still in the stage of searching. So I don't know if I answered that question, but I think that there are people who genuinely change because their whole being changes and they fit better in a particular community. But there's some people who disengage. All my family did this. They disengaged from institutional church. And yet my brother's kneeling at his bedside at night praying. You know, they're still praying, they're still spiritual, or maybe more so, but they don't see yet the value in personal religion and belonging to a community. Somebody said that to me the other day. She said, I finally found out both things are important, aren't they? It's important to have a personal spiritual life, but it's also important to engage with a community of believers. Does that answer that? Okay.
My name's Mary Werdinger, and I agree with everything you said and with what the people here said. But I see one obstacle and to being able to do this, and I was wondering if you would address it. And the obstacle I see is that even though we want to talk to each other, it seems as if we all don't always understand each other. To me, it seems as if we need an interpreter. As an example, if someone is deaf, they can't hear, they can go to a lecture, but unless there's an interpreter that speaks in sign language, the person can sit there all day and not know what they're talking about. And I see that within our larger community, the larger world. As an example, I'm Catholic. Quite a few years ago, the bishops came out with letters on women, or letters to the women, and they did like 6 or 7 drafts, but none of them were acceptable. But not once did I ever hear them invite women in to tell them what they wanted to put in that letter. And that's just an example. But that works with politicians, it works with the different wealth classes, the different nationalities. If we don't speak the same language, it's really difficult to communicate with them and to understand each other. Do you have any?
Well, I have a reflection, and may or may not be right, but I'm going to start out at the beginning. I'm going to start at the bottom.
Okay.
Americans don't listen to each other. For example, if you start to say something at table, or you start to say something any place, you get halfway through and somebody says, oh yeah, I know about that. Or you start to tell a story and they say, this is your topic sentence, and they say, oh yes, I had that experience, and then they take it away with their story. You know, that's kind of common. I used to have a director named Charlie. He was he's a brother, and he was very timid. And he'd come in, he'd say this topic sentence, and then he'd be quiet, and I said, Charlie, that's the topic sentence. Tell me the rest. You know, go on from there. But we don't let people go on from there. So going to the bigger picture then, I think that we don't really, first of all, want to listen to the other women, in that case, that's a really good example. We don't want to listen. We have to A, want it. And then B, we have to be willing to step in the shoes of the other person. And then we have to listen to the whole story.